All right. Good day, everybody. Welcome to the webinar, Speed Up Digital Investigations Involving Multimedia. I'm Rich Frawley. I'm the Director of Training here at ADF Solutions. There's me from when I first started at ADF. I forgot to update my picture. A little different now. But I've been with ADF Solutions here, even this slide, I'm sorry, this one's not updated. We're on my 9th year with ADF Solutions. As the director of training here, I came on as a subject matter expert and a major version change in the tool back in 2016. Prior to that, 22 years in law enforcement. I was a detective and forensic examiner and investigator and a founder of our computer crime unit, which we started back in 1999. So I've seen a lot, done a lot. I worked a lot of cyber tips from ICAC. That's actually where our original funding came from back in 1999. The state police here in Connecticut had the main Internet Crimes Against Children task force, but at the time, instead of affiliates, there were satellites, and satellites were also funded. So that's where we got our start. Yeah, it's been an awesome ride. A lot of different types of cases, and of course, a lot of them involving multimedia images and videos. So let's start taking a look at. Oh, I may have to reshare here. Hold on one second. That's what I did. There we go. So what I'm going to show you here today is with our tool, Digital Evidence Investigator Pro. So ADF Solutions, just to back up one step here, has been around for 20 years. Started out in the image identification field, in the child exploitation arena, if you will. So getting quick identification for the pictures and videos and bringing them to the forefront and letting you make your decisions. So triage, in a sense. That tool developed more into artifacts and images and videos, and just kept advancing. 2016, like I said, there was a major interface change. And the way we worked with live computers and bootable computers. So when we were running from a USB device, we went from Linux-based USB devices to Windows-based, getting more computers, less chance of having to pop into the BIOS to change anything. You could use the single boot menu key and get right into the USB device and boot any computer. And then 2016, so about 2017, 18, we added mobile. And that's just, we've been working on that and really solidifying that. So I'm going to show you both of those here today, a couple different ways to look at things quick. And then when you are doing a full deeper exam of a device, right? You've made an image, you have an image, or you've really got a big scan with lots of images, how to work through those, and maybe a couple tips and tricks on what you're looking for and how to do that quick. Hey, we've got somebody from Connecticut in here. Awesome. Yeah, so that's ADF Solutions. We have two different tools. One's the computer side, Digital Evidence Investigator. On the mobile side, it's Mobile Device Investigator. And when you want both of them, you can put them in one interface, and it's called Digital Evidence Investigator Pro. And soon, I think it's just going to be called ADF Pro. So you'll be able to do both with one interface, which I'm going to be showing here today. I'm going to go into investigate device, really clean screen, easy to use. And I'm going to show you the quickest way with a mobile device if you're working, multimedia, and that's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking at. We have this preview function for mobile devices, and it's very quick with the images and the videos, letting you see what's on a device without you having to go through that device and thumb through it. Now, you do need access to the device for this to work, right? We are not bypassing, we're not exploiting, um, we are not doing anything like that to get you into the phone. You have to have access to it, and when you have access, if you have access, you'll be able to do everything that I show you here today. So with preview, I have a couple of different devices. I have just one device hooked up right now, the Google Pixel. So it's an Android. It's an older one, but it works for what I'm going to do here. The newer ones work just as well, so no problem there. You can see I have an acquisition path off to a different drive. When you're working with these, especially with mobile devices, they can get rather large, and it's better to have that acquisition path go somewhere else. And then it defaults to preview and the date and time that you're doing it, but that can be changed to anything that you want to put on here. So I have this Pixel here connected just to show you. Hold it up. It's up. It's running. And I'm going to go in to preview. So what preview does is it starts making an advanced logical acquisition of the device. But what we're going to start doing is, as the stuff is coming across, we're going to be able to show it to you and parse it out. Now, Android will get you some artifacts up front, which is awesome. Like you can see here, there's some messages. I can click on that and go in and see those messages right away. I've been in this phone maybe 30 seconds. What I can do is I can go into the pictures gallery here. So in this short time that I've been on this device, in the upper right-hand corner, it's hard for you to read probably, but it says there's 2,925 images that have been detected on this device so far. That's not the final count. That's what it got right off the bat, probably from the SD card and some internal folders there. The most recent pictures being at the top. So these are the most recent pictures that are on this device. You can start scrolling through. You can see some of them haven't filtered in here yet, but if I click on them, they start populating. Now, this is pretty simple. If I'm looking for dogs, I use dogs as contraband. Makes it a little easier. Once you see it, you know what it is. I have what I want here, right? This is what I'm looking for. It is collecting the properties. It's collecting any metadata. And if you go to preview and it opens up, it means it's already been moved from the device into your case here or into wherever you're saving it to. So with that, it's fully functional as the analysis tool while it's still making this advanced logical acquisition in the background, right? So I can come in here and look for specific things. So you can see down here, I have EXIF information, make, model, serial numbers, dates and times, coordinates, right? So this is an interesting one that was used not too long ago. Somebody just told me this story last week, and it was a training exercise where they had 36 phones. So think critical incident, think anything like the critical incident, mass casualty, whatever, school lockdowns, somewhere where you need to go through a bunch of devices. So in this training exercise, they collected 36 devices from the people that were part of this exercise. And I believe it was a critical incident exercise. And what they were looking for, they had a triage group set up with this tool. And they were looking for the devices that had video that was taken of the incident, right? So we have something specific that you're looking for. Now, in this one, I'm going to be using pictures. It could be pictures. It could be videos, right? If you know your coordinates of where you are or what it should be around, you can start zooming in on those pictures, hit apply, and now I filtered right down to those pictures that were taken in that vicinity, right? You can even, I'm just going to turn that off there for a second. And go back here. So I have last written, file created. So, if I was looking for something that was on this date, or maybe it was 2019. So by just focusing in on a specific date or time, I can also filter down to that. And then just building on that, I can go back to EXIF coordinates. Again, say I have even more pictures now from that general location. That allows me to pick those and filter right down. So by date and by location. And so they did this. They had the triage room. They were going through, and within a really short amount of time, they identified the 8 devices that had what they were looking for, and knew those were the 8 that needed to be pushed up the line, if you will, for a deeper dive. Now you're going to get the full file system. You're going to go through. You're going to do the bigger analysis, or you're just going to extract those. Depending on what your use case is, right? Is it just I needed those videos that were on there, or was I looking at something else? So very quick, very easy to focus in with this preview with multimedia exactly what you're looking for. So filters quickly on and off. Videos, I came in here a little late. Usually when you come in here early, it identifies, again, the videos. There's 16 videos on here. And when you come in here, it recognizes that you're in looking at videos. So it kind of puts a higher importance on those videos. And you can see I have the metadata, but we break these down into frames as well. So you can start looking at the frames of that video, up to 50 frames, first frame, last frame, 48 from in between, gives you a good idea of what's in that video. And then if you can play it, that means it's been moved from the device into your case here. Same thing, pictures, videos, and again, the filters are completely available. I didn't look to see if I had those are the dates and times. So I did have some with coordinates here, right? And I can apply those and be able to look at the frames of what might be in those videos as well. So usually that view will give you 50 frames, first, last, 48 spaced from in between. And then, so that's preview, right? Quick, easy to get to, easy to filter really quick what you may be looking for, so you can start making decisions. Maybe you're on a search warrant, you're in the house, you want to, leave behind grandma's pink iPad and just, focus on the suspect's phones, or eliminate the phones of everybody else who's in the house. This gives you the ability to do that. I was running what I just did there. If you saw this pop up, I'm just going to explain it here. And I'm going to show you this in a little bit, but we have a classifier that runs. And it goes through, and I think there's about 13 different classifications, weapons, vehicles, portraits, pictures, people, currency, a couple of different pornography categories like upskirting, bestiality, adult, and child, I believe. So that goes through and runs automatically when it's done, and you can pause it. So I was just pausing it because I'm already doing a webinar and running the tool, and the classification does take a little processing power, so I don't want to lag too much here. But yeah, so you can go through duplicates. You can filter these, like I said, any way that you want. So that's preview on a mobile device. Quickest way in, quickest way to start going through it, and fully functional as the analysis tool before that acquisition was even completed. So what I have here are a couple of different results where I've already parsed something out. I'll go to one of the easiest. So Android, iOS, right? That's mainly what we focus on here. When you make a connection with a device on the tool, and I'll just show you here, over on the left-hand side, these are all the target devices. So this is what's connected to my forensic machine in front of me. This is what I'm able to scan, in this area it's scanned. So I give it a set of instructions. I want A, B, and C off of this device, and I can go and run that. I can add forensic image files. I can add previous acquisitions that I've done. I can point to folders. A lot I can do here. But you can see the Google Pixel is connected as a device, right? So I had to go through. I had to become a developer. I had to go through, debug mode, make it stay awake, all that to get it to connect as a device. But when you first plug in a device into Windows, Windows sees it as a media transfer protocol, as just as a folder. So we have that connection automatically. You plug it into Windows, Windows dings, folder shows up that that contains all the media. So you could connect there without having to go through all that as a device. You're going to want to do it as a device most times. But here's where it comes in as helpful is when you're on a scene and somebody has a flip phone, right? Somebody has a feature phone rather than an Android or an iOS device. So what I've done here is I had a TCL flip phone, thanks to my father-in-law who refuses to move any farther than a flip phone. Hooked it up, got the MTP connection, asked for all the pictures or the media that was on the device, and it grabbed 4 pictures off of that device here. So even though we're not looking, or you're not going to get call logs and things like that, if you're working multimedia, it has an MTP connection. You can come in here and scan that device and pull that information off. So think, GoPros and tree cams and things like that. You'll still be able to get a connection and pull off the media with that information quickly, right? That's before you're going to make an image maybe of the SD card that's in there. You're going to get a little more into it. Or even maybe you did make the image of it, because you can image with this as well. So you put the SD card in, you made an image of it, you collected everything off of it, and now you want to go through it. So this helps you do that. So that was there. This is that's not what I was looking for. This is an older iPhone 6 that I've run. And this is a little bit more realistic as far as how many images. I think the last one I had was 2,900, 3,000 pictures. This one's just a little bit more. It's got 7,700 pictures in it. I'm going to show you a couple steps, and each place I go, or each device I start showing you here, I'm going to kind of use the same method to show you how you can get down to what you're looking for, especially if it's one of those cases where you don't know what you're looking for. So this one I've run, I let it classify already. So there was no, I'm not on a triage looking quick. This is all done. I have the time to go through my stuff now. So right away when we filter, we have what's called photo probability. It's built into the tool, baked in. As it's scanning and we're collecting images, we're looking at the data, and determining the probability that it's actually a photograph or an icon, emoji, or something that's, not worth classifying. You'll still get it, you'll still see it, but it won't go through the classification process. And it also lets me filter it out right away. So out of the 7,794, and this is a pretty clean phone, so it's not going to be a big deal here. But I can go to photo probability. I'm going to choose my medium setting. That means it's a 70% chance. That's determined that it's a 70% chance that this is a photo and not an icon, emoji, or whatever. And I'm going to hit apply. And from 7794, I went down to 7322. So about 400, 500 pictures or 300, 400 pictures taken out, whether they're icons or emoji. Kind of cleans up your view. The nice thing about this that I like to show is you can use this. You can go through and do all your tagging, sorting, filtering with other stuff. But I can also let me turn that filter back off. I can come in here and reverse that and apply that filter. So now I'm looking at the pictures that would have been filtered out, right? So is that right? Yeah, 479 pictures on here that I can now go through really quickly and determine if any of these were something that was what I was looking for as well, or slipped through the cracks, if you will. So that's one way to start filtering down to what you're looking for. Photo probability, medium, apply. Now I'm down to 7,200 pictures. I can then come in and say, hey, what type of pictures am I expecting to find my evidence in, right? A majority of them are going to be JPEGs or something like that. So let me go right there and just filter right down to JPEGs. So now I'm down to 3,422 pictures in my view that I can start going through. Out of these, I can use that classifier and say, show me all the weapons, right? So now I'm down to 891 pictures of weapons, or I can switch it to vehicles. You can see these aren't all the classifications that are on here, but you can see pictures that contain people, portraits, right? So the selfie type pictures, vehicles, scanned documents, currency. You can see that there as well. So that's the classifier, kind of how that works, along with some of the other filters I have. And like I said, if I want to just do JPEGs, I can do that. And like I said, these are very simple to turn on or turn off. It doesn't take any time at all for these filters to work. There's also hash deduplication. So if there are any duplicates in here, so I went from 7794 to 7656. So, there's about 40, 50 duplicates that have now been, hidden from view. So I'm not looking at those twice. If I do see the duplicate, like when I come across it, there'll be a tab that shows me where the other picture is, right? So it's not that it's hidden and gone. When I get to the picture that's a duplicate of it, I can go right to the other location and see it as well. Or I can keep it in there. So that's kind of just a quick, if you're looking for something specific with the classifier, that's a pretty good example of how that works. And I have a couple other classifications to show you here as well. Let me, here's another way when working with multimedia. A quick way to go through and pick out, when you're dealing with storage devices. And oh boy, I remember going on some search warrants and having boxes of hard drives, or let me go way back, floppy disks or CDs or DVDs, right? So what I'm looking for is, does this really contain anything let me triage it. Does this really contain anything I'm looking for right off the bat? So keywords and file names, really quick, low-hanging fruit. When they're down, if you're working child exploitation cases, they'll be named, Hussy Fan, Lolita. Usually the names of the files are indicative of what's in there. So really quick, that'll give you down and dirty, low-hanging fruit. It runs fast. And then I did some hashes, right? I loaded up the hashes and well, well, maybe a 5 1/4 inch disc. Yeah. Yeah. So this, I ran the hashes, I ran the keywords. It found 229 files on this 250 gig drive, right? So I can come in here again, go right to my gallery, and what you'll see in the upper right-hand corner of these pictures is a little red magnifying glass that shows that that picture was a match of either a hash or a keyword. So this one here, there's the preview of the picture. There's a duplicate of it, so it's showing me the path to the other file. But that shows me it's a match, and there's the matching hash value that in my properties there. I can actually go see which ones were hits on keywords by going into my filter and looking at matches. Oh, they're all. Where am I? Here it is, keywords. So I can come in here and look at pictures that were specific matches on keywords. Like I say, we got Lolita here in this picture, and I have the properties where the keyword was found and that picture of that. You can see some of these were set to automatically tag. So you can bring in a hash list, like Project Vic will automatically tag and sort for you if you bring in your Project Vic lists. But if I bring in my own list, and some of them are child exploitation material that I'm looking for, or some are CSAM, right? Difference, chargeable versus not. I could set those to tag differently. So level 1, just like Project Vic, level 2, and I can set those. So these automatically tagged. I had no analysis done on this at all. This was just a scan of the device asking for pictures that matched hashes and matched keywords. So quickly, you can see what's on there. Now, the nice thing about this, and I'll just go back to the summary page, that took a minute and 15 seconds to run against a 250 gigabyte storage drive. If I go to my files view, the first thing the tool does is it makes a listing of every file and folder that's on that device. So I can come in here and look at all the files. You can see the pictures, the folders that were in here. I could put it in tree view, so you can see the setup that was on that device. And there was a total of 170,306 files, right? And out of it, it pulled to 206, and that was in a minute and 15 seconds. So a really quick way to go through and start filtering out, hey, this has media on it that I'm going to be looking for. Put that in line first. This doesn't have anything. Maybe you could, if you don't find anything this way, maybe there's some other things you could do to make sure it's not on there. But you have the list to help you out. At least you can get a really good idea of what's on there. Your other way is to just go through and collect all the media that's on there, right? You can do that as well. Instead of saying match these and bring it back to me quickly, you can say just collect everything and I'll go through and use my filters, which I have down here. Let me see. I kind of did that over here. I'm going to show you a Mac that I did a triage on, Mac M1. So we use what's called a remote agent to connect to Macs, right? You take the Mac, you run our remote agent from our collection key or our USB device that you prepare. You run the remote agent on that side. It's connected to your Windows machine through Ethernet, or you can use a private Wi-Fi network to make the connection as well. But through Ethernet, you open up the tool on the Windows side and run the scan, and it will scan that Mac for you in real time. So in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, I ran it. I wanted the operating system information off of it, and I wanted the pictures and videos. So again, collected them all. I can come through here and start looking through all those. On the Windows side, again, the filter is available for, you know, anything. There's all my exit dates and times. So if I was looking for a specific date and time within a picture, I can go through and look at that. Kind of similar to what we were looking for before. My tomato garden, the money I get for my tomatoes, the devices to keep my tomatoes safe, a device to keep my devices safe, right? So all the metadata, you get everything, all the properties, filters, again, easily turned on and turned off. So that was 4 minutes and 30 seconds, about 1,500 images off of that device. Again, through Ethernet, so it's not going to be as fast as if I was working directly from my device, but nonetheless, it worked. And let's see, that was M1 Trion. Let's go down here a little bit more. So this is one that's already been automatically scanned. I think I did a little analysis on this one. I do have a new the previews I just did. This is it. So this is a typical demo device, typical user profile on a computer and all the artifacts that go along with it. So a little bit pared down. It's in a virtual drive, and I went through and I wanted to, you know, collect everything in a triage type or more of an investigative type scan. So I have a lot of artifacts in here that were collected. If I go down to my multimedia that I collected here, 6,461 images, one video that's over 500 megabytes in size. And it took about 6.5 minutes to scan this whole device and pull all this information out. It also automatically tagged 85 as child abuse and 130 at level 2. So I can click on that, the ones that were automatically tagged, and go look at those. And I can also click on that and see what's been automatically tagged here. But if I go back in my gallery, as I said, this hasn't been analyzed yet. It was the scan. This is how it finished. I'll show you a scan here in a little bit so you can see what it does while it's working. But again, the matches are always on the top. So these little red magnifying glasses showing that it's a hit on a hash or a keyword are up on top. So I can scroll down. Here's all my matches, and you can see that. You can see I have duplicates, so it shows me where the other duplicates are. So I've got 6,703 photographs to go through. Some of them have been tagged and filtered. I can now say, okay, the ones that have been tagged and filtered, I could go through and tag some more. Show me the ones that aren't, so I can hide what's been tagged already. And then I could bring in my matches. Yes. Show me the 19 pictures that are matches. When it was all there, they were mix matched, right? So you had some matches, you had some tagged, but they were all what I was looking for. So now I can come in here and tag these with whatever tag level I want, turn off the matches filter, and now those go automatically into my tag filter. and I don't see those. And now here's what I have left to work with. Now I can come back and start using my filters. Photo probability, 70%. So now from 6,000, I'm down to 5,200. Then from there, I could do visual classes if I wanted. We do have age group detection in there. I don't have it on in this one. I have linked artifacts. So there's 6 artifacts that we will link to files if we find them. So we collect a file, we look at it, and we say, okay, go in now and look at peer-to-peer, look at messages, look at emails, look at downloads, look at browser cache, and look at recent files. If any of those artifacts mention or reference this file, link it together for me. So I can see here, peer-to-peer files shared or downloaded. I hit apply, and now there's the 6 that show they were downloaded. Peer-to-peer file shared or downloaded was where that got captured. So I can quickly filter to that type of information. Let me turn that one back off. Linked artifacts. All right, so I'm back here. Let me go to photo probability again. Photo probability, 70%, apply. So I'm down there. And again, I can come back up here, like I said, and do file type, JPEGs only, apply. And now I'm down to 4,245. And I can start going through and selecting a couple different ways I could do this. If I see pictures of dogs, I can select them as I'm going along. If I know they're all going to be under the same, tag level, I can just hit my tag level 1 now. So what we have this set to do is when I do that, it unselected them, right? So they won't get taken again. And then I can refilter my tags and hit apply. And now I can keep going through here. Okay, give me 1 second here. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Boy, I don't know if you saw the picture of me there, but looks just the same, right? Yeah, so filtering again by type. Once I'm through all the JPEGs, I can then filter those. I can filter into something else. So just show me the GIFs, right? And then I can go through those. So it kind of helps you narrow down and get you through what you're looking for a lot faster. All right, hold on 1 second. Okie doke. All right. So no questions over here yet. If you do, please pop those in there. Again, I can come through and look at my keywords. But getting through the multimedia is just layering your filters to what you're looking for. You can reverse them very easily. Like I said, if when I'm done with my JPEGs, I can now filter on another file type. Mismatches, depending on how we give you the ability to collect files a couple different ways. A fast way, right? Just by file extension. Give me all the photograph, any multimedia by file extension. It'll grab that. Then we could say, give me all the pictures by file extension. But if it doesn't have a file extension, do a header analysis and show me those, right? So it's just as fast, but it gets you more multimedia, right? It's going to start getting things from like browser cache or some of the apps that maybe don't put a file extension on their files. So it'll grab you that. And then we have thorough identification. So it's slower. This is for in lab. It's not for your triage. This is where it's going to look at every file on the file system by header and determine what it is and sort it that way. So you would be able to come through here and look at any of those mismatched photos. Embedded. So we will go in. We'll pull pictures out of zips. We'll pull pictures out of documents. ThumbDB, things like that. So any of your embedded pictures, you can sort down to those. Show me what was in zip files. Show me what was embedded in documents. I had a case that was solely based on documents. This person was downloading their images and dropping them all into Word documents and naming the Word documents like he was writing a book, right? So they were either chapters or book names or short stories. But when you scan the device, the thumb drives for images, pulled them all out of the documents, and that's where they all were. Probably also helped them if you ever put that into like a CVS kiosk to print photos, right? So they don't all just open up on you. But he had a ton of them like that. Very rare in any of his devices that you just saw pictures when you went on there. They were usually hidden in documents. You can sort by path, file extensions, again, if they're different from up above, whether they're protected. So if there are some images in here that may be encrypted, we list them in a couple different places, but you'll be able to check there. You can go by picture heights, widths, video duration, linked artifacts. Again, show me the pictures that were downloaded on the internet, right? Bam, there they are. Here's 4 records of pictures that were downloaded. If I look at that first picture, it links me to those. Here's the download history, right, for that picture. Date, time, who did it, all that. And then all the recent file entries for, either it's a link, it's a jump, that type of information. So you can take it right to that record and see all the information about that link file. The path that it's in, see if there's anything else in that path. And then dates and times. Now, along with that, in the filter, I passed it up on top, but you have file name. So if you have certain naming conventions, right? So they're going to a image source RU, right, which is a photo hosting site in Russia. I can filter right down to those just by start looking for that file name, that naming convention, if you will. So anything that started with image source, I can filter down to those as well. I used to remember coming across stuff like that, and it's so easy now to just go, show me these pictures, tag them, get them out of your view, and then you're just whittling away and sending those pictures down the funnel. So filters, very powerful. Like I said, you get down here, we have age group, if this sort's done, makes, models. You're looking for a specific camera. You did a search warrant. There was this camera on house, and that you seized. Let me see if he was taking any pictures himself. First gen pictures, right? Was that? Did it contain serial numbers? Some of them do, some of them don't. Maybe you get lucky and you say, hey, these are all from this specific camera. But it's there for you. The coordinate dates, right? So the dates that you can zoom in on right away to get to what you're looking for. The file path, where it's collected, tags and captures. So you can see all the pictures Here, just show me the ones that came in keyword capture, right? Just show me the ones that were from the cyber tip hash set. I can filter right down to just those pictures. So a lot you can do. Easy to get through. Videos are the same. All your filters here are pretty much the same for pictures and videos. And can you search GPS? So those are the coordinates. If I have those pictures, now we don't map yet. Our development team is working on that. But if I come to the coordinates, and I don't know if I have this set on my, oh, that's because I have a filter on. I'll show you what I've done this for years when there was no mapping. Coordinates, let me just grab these. So I have 4 pictures here. If I open it with my default tool, and it's not opening in the program that I wanted to, so let me save this out. Desktop. There is a program I have. I'm just going to open it up here for a second. There we go. So EarthInView, it's a free program. Download it, use it. It's a neat little tool, lets you do a lot. But if you click on the information tab, so if I had it set as my default viewer, I export this picture. Down on the bottom, there's a little exit button, info, and it shows me all the info here. Down on the bottom, it says showing Google Maps. So that's going to open up a tab as long as I'm connected to the internet. And there we go. So it mapped that picture for me right quick. So from the tool, open it in EarthInView, and you can open it in Maps right away. Just a nice little shortcut. But we are working on mapping. I hope that answers your question there. Oh, let's see. What's the cost? So this tool that you're looking at here, the Digital Evidence Investigator is, and don't quote me, I'm on the technical side. I want to say it's around $5,000 for both computer and mobile. I think if you're just getting the computer, it's around $2,500, and if you're doing the mobile, just the mobile side, I think it's around $3,000. Anything you could do on the computer side, you could do on the mobile side. It's really interchangeable. You could customize. You could bring in your own hashes. You could do all this analysis. There's no difference in the tools. And there's more coming. We do have new releases coming out. So on the mobile side, we didn't even get into half of the stuff that you can do. You can do screenshots, screen recordings, really good for victim witness consent, the previews, advanced logical acquisitions, full scans. So it just allows you to do a lot with the tool. Bring in your own keywords, bring in your own hashes, really target what you want to look for. You don't have to scan a whole device. You can say just scan the user profiles, right? If that's what you're looking for, you want to do something quick. What version number, Digital Evidence Investigator, what version number are you at? So I am running what's called a release candidate. This is due to be out November 1st. It's 2.9.3. The current one out that you can download from our website is 2.9.1. Yeah, and that's where we're at with that. So this tool is Digital Evidence Investigator Pro. Just the computer side is Digital Evidence Investigator. Just the mobile side is Mobile Device Investigator. Let me pop up back here to where I was. So we went through that stuff. We do have training. We can come to you. Class sizes are usually anywhere from 6 to 12. 12 usually the max. I can fit a couple more in if needed. But we do have it online, self-paced. Mobile's 8 hours, computer's 16 hours. You put them together, it's 20 hours because you learn the interface in and out. So when you get to the mobile part, it's really just mobile focused because you've already learned how to use the interface and how to do analysis, if you will. I want to thank you. I know everybody's got choices. You chose to be here today. I really do appreciate that. If you're looking at how the tool works, maybe some other things, we have some videos online that walk you through the process. There's a knowledge base, support. If you do have the tool, support at adfsolutions.com is the way to get in touch with us. We get right back to you. We have blog posts up there to learn. And try adf.com if it's something that you're interested in and you want to want to run it around the block a few times. Try adf.com, fill it out, and somebody will get back to you. We can do demos for you if you want. I can get on any type of Zoom, Teams, Google, and we could run you through a demo of the specific features you want to see, or a pretty good overview of the tool as well. And weekly we have those just getting started. There's a free training each week for computer and mobile that we can get you into as well. So that's that. Thank you very much. I don't see any more questions. Again, I appreciate you being here today. Hopefully I showed you something useful, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.